Hello, I'm Theresa, and I'm here to answer some questions today about Reiki. So, I'm a shamanic herbalist healer, and I've been a Reiki master teacher for a little over a decade now. And so, I'm just going to answer some basic questions about Reiki. Number one, what in the world is Reiki? Well, to put it as briefly as possible, and yes, I will be reading my notes over here. Reiki is a clothed Japanese deep relaxation vibrational healing system that engages your own body's self-healing mechanisms. Those are innate within you. So I'll shorten it up even more. We'll just take some words out of that. Reiki is a clothes, like you wear your clothes. It's not a massage, right? You're wearing clothes. It's a vibrational healing system that engages your body's own self-healing mechanisms. But the Japanese word Reiki most closely translates to universal life force energy. Reiki is not to be confused with ki, chi, or prana. All of those refer to personal life force energy, not universal life force energy. So I just wanted to be really clear about that because there is a lot of confusion. So Reiki is high vibrational source of all life, right? Energy, and it permeates in and through all things. So some people might even describe it now using the term the quantum field, because that is described as being always with us. It is in and through all things, every atom, every cell, every piece of the universe. And it is the glue that holds the universe together. And it's vibrating at the highest possible vibration, even higher than unconditional love, wholeness, right? That sense of enlightenment. When you experience it, your whole being just becomes radiant and healed. It's incredible. So during a Reiki session, the practitioner is like a channel or a container, like a vessel that always has Reiki, just like you actually always have your life force energy within your body. But during a session, that energy becomes really intentional and really focused for that person's healing. And so both parties are completely filled and energized with universal life force energy, Reiki. All right, but prana, ki, and chi are considered to be, yes, personal, but prana specifically from the sun's energy. And then we breathe in that energy and it becomes our own. And so, in that way, if someone is using their prana, it's like their full battery is connecting to somebody's not full battery, right? And so when those connect, you're having this high vibration connect to the low vibration, and the fully charged battery drains until they become equal. This one comes up and this one comes down, and then they're equal. And so that's why healing touch practitioners or other modalities, depending on what those are and if they're using prana, they are instructed not to overgive sessions, right? To really limit to 3 or 4 people a day, and obviously not every day. And if they overgive, then they're draining their personal energy and they might end up getting sick. Whereas my experience of practicing Reiki is I could give Reiki all day long because we are both completely filled up with universal life force energy. There is no limit and no end to source energy, right? So hopefully that makes perfect sense. So I'm going to give a super brief, like the briefest history of Reiki. Dr. Mikao Usui, so this is for traditional Usui Reiki. Dr. Usui lived in Japan in 1922, and he founded this healing system and practice called Reiki. So he received visions, and he received those Reiki symbols in the visions. And so then he started using the symbols in his hands-on healings. So the Reiki symbols are just symbols. They're pictures that represent a positive intention. But the Reiki symbols are part of the Japanese language and kanji, so that's their written words. But we're just not used to seeing those things. But these symbols are part of what makes Reiki different from other healing systems. And so are the Reiki ideals and the Reiki attunements. The attunements attune someone to the symbols to become Reiki practitioners. A client does not get attuned to the symbol to become a Reiki practitioner. So when you think of an attunement, think of tuning into a radio station, right? You're changing the frequency, you're changing the vibration, and you're looking for that match, right? And so you're changing the frequency and vibration of your own being, of your own consciousness, and you're tuning in to universal life force energy. And Dr. Usui only trained 16 of his 2,000 students to the third degree or to master level. And one of those students of Dr. Usui's was Mrs. Hawayo Takata. We usually just refer to her as Mrs. Takata. It's much easier to say. Well, she's the one that brought Reiki to the United States in 1937. And what's amazing is that a survey was conducted in the year 2007, and it indicated that in the previous year, 1.2 million adults and 161,000 children in the United States received one or more Reiki sessions. I think that's amazing. Reiki continues to grow in understanding and in popularity, as we can see by its use in hospitals throughout the United States. And I don't know if you've ever heard of Dr. Mehmet Oz, but he integrates Reiki into his surgical practice. I believe he's had Pamela Miles give Reiki to one of his open heart surgery patients in the surgical room. And then, of course, they always are giving Reiki to their patients in recovery from surgery as well. And those studies are just amazing, comparing the control group to those who received Reiki. So Reiki use in hospitals is actually becoming increasingly popular with the medical community, with over 800 hospitals in the United States offering Reiki as a standard part of hospital care. That's amazing. A research study at Hartford Hospital in Hartford, Connecticut, indicates that Reiki improves patient sleep by 86%. Reduces pain by 78%, reduces nausea by 80%, and reduces anxiety during pregnancy by 94%. These are highly significant results. I love it. Okay, in addition, nurses report that Reiki helps patients in the following way. It helps them heal faster. It helps them heal faster with less pain, and it reduces stress. It improves their mental attitude. You got to love that, because your mindset can change everything. All right. It improves appetite, and it improves or reduces the negative side effects of chemotherapy and radiation, as well as other medical procedures. And I will be doing a video on the scientific studies of hands-on healing of Reiki, and those are very significant, specifically also with chemotherapy and people on medications that are known to hurt the body. Reiki can help to reverse that and make it seem as if they're not even having negative side effects at all. We'll get to that in another video. Okay, so Some other benefits of Reiki, as you can clearly see right from the Hartford Hospital, this list actually could fill an entire page. Okay, so Reiki brings the nervous system in balance so that the body can actually relax and release the stresses of the everyday life, right? And as well as the long forgotten stresses that have been buried into the tissues, into the cells, and into the consciousness. So they're held somewhere in the body, and a lot of Reiki clients will be able to release those stressors, memories, traumas. They just release them and they're gone. It's such a blessing, such a blessing. I could tell you stories for days, but I'm not going to do that here. It'll take too long. Okay, so Reiki increases hemoglobin levels, which helps with energy as well as the body's detoxification processes. Clients report that Reiki helps with stress, anxiety, depression, headaches, insomnia, nausea, sprains, and other minor conditions. And some of the other conditions that people notice or report about their benefits from Reiki is that pancreatitis is improved, people with brain tumors, emphysema, multiple endocrine disorders, rheumatoid arthritis, congestive heart failure, fertility, multiple sclerosis, and other diseases. Reiki also promotes psychological improvement and healing, such as releasing anger, fear, worry, overwhelm, sadness, and replacing those otherwise very stressful feelings with a deep sense of self-worth, self-acceptance, peace, and confidence. And one of my patients or clients, not a doctor, one of my clients actually worked with me to get off of her depression medication. And that was 100% in her power to make those decisions and work with her doctor in doing that. But she was able in 12 weeks to get off of the depression medication, which I thought was pretty amazing. Okay. So if you've never had a Reiki session before, here's what you can expect usually. So Reiki is administered through the hands of a Reiki practitioner. We're talking about an in-person session, not a long distance or remote session. And so the client is fully clothed and they're usually lay on a massage table. However, Reiki can be given anywhere. So it can be given to someone sitting in a chair or on the couch. It can be standing in line at the market. I often will give myself Reiki if I'm sitting at a stoplight, right? It can really be given anywhere. Professionally speaking, though, the client usually lies on the massage table for about 45 to 90 minutes, though, of course, shorter sessions can be given and longer, but that's up to the practitioner and the client. The Reiki practitioner usually places his or her hands on a few places on the head, the neck, the shoulders, the chest, the abdomen, the hips, the legs, and the feet, including the knees. Okay, so it just depends on the practitioner. Hand placements may vary in locations between light touch to like a just hovering right above, like this. So it just depends on the location and what the body's really messaging out. So Reiki is not a massage. Reiki does not manipulate the tissues of the body. Who can learn Reiki? Anyone. Anyone can learn to practice Reiki. And this is great news because if everybody did, we would be doing so much better right now. Okay, if you are feeling truly called to serve other people, plants, or animals, then Reiki first degree training is something that you could totally do, because first we learn how to give Reiki to ourselves, and then we can give Reiki to our pets and our plants and our friends and family, and just see how that's going and go with that. And eventually, if you want to, you can work on other people, but basically anybody can learn how to do Reiki. So I want you to think about this. This was such an interesting insight that I came across. So, what's the first thing you do when you stub your toe, or you hit your head, or you knock your knee, or you whack your elbow, or have a cramping stomach? Besides swearing, of course, we place our hands on the pain. That is natural instinct. That is a naturally instinctive response to pain, and you put your hands on it, right? Or, like kids, they want to kiss, right? It's positive mojo. It's good energy. It's high vibes. So we place our own hands on the body part that we just hurt, and we hold that place, and we naturally, instinctively know to lay on hands. But somewhere along the road, the long, long road to where we were, to where we are now, we forget to keep holding that place and channeling our positive energy, our prayers, and our good vibes. So, people also instinctively let out low, deep moans in times of prolonged pain. So, this too is a vibrational healing practice. It's sound healing, right? It comes naturally and instinctively. So if you've ever had a baby, if you've ever given birth naturally, or practiced toning meditations, then for sure you know what I'm talking about. The deep, low moans open the cervix, but the higher pitched tones, like they tighten everything up, right? You can feel the difference. So it's really amazing. But just wanted to share this with you and hope that it's useful for the questions that I've been getting. And have a beautiful, wonderful, amazing day. Thank you so much for listening.